Greetings and salutations, my automotive operators. After the absolute bullseye hit that was Driver San Francisco, where Tanner finally served Charlie Jerry a nice taste of justice and drove off into the sunset, and after the giant adventure that was the Driver franchise, with 5 mainstream games and several spin-offs, it's time for Driver to venture into the new generation of gaming. Well, unfortunately, it appears after literally 10 years of no official Driver games being released, it appears that the franchise had its time on the earth, and it's time to move on to different things. And that's where you're wrong, because a hotshot indie game developer by the codename Soapy had enough of writing extremely vulgar emails to Ubisoft, begging them to create a new Driver game. And he thought to himself, ugh, I gotta do everything around here! And got to work on creating his own Driver game. And after a couple of primitive yet interesting prototypes, Soapy worked day and night past the clock, typing away with a bunch of interesting computer code that my dumbass pea-brain could not comprehend. And after 6 literal years of programming and game design, a brand new but unofficial Driver game is finally here, given the name the Driver Syndicate.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
And the whole concept and goal of the Driver Syndicate is to replicate the vibe and gameplay of Drivers 1 and 2 from the original PlayStation. And coming from someone that spent a good chunk of time playing the Driver games, I'd say Soapy did a damn good job making this game. Other people would say otherwise, but that's irrelevant. And don't just take my word for it, take a look on what other Driver fans have to say about the Driver Syndicate.
Hello Collies, I think it's time that you hear from the real Driver fan and not from this impaired gunner weeb that got banned on Only Driver fans at least 12 times. A hotshot indie game developer by the codename Soapy had enough of writing extremely vulgar emails to Ubisoft begging them to create a new Driver game, and got to work on create his own Driver game.
Wow!
And with a couple of primitive yet interesting prototypes, Soapy worked day and night past the clock as much as he could to get a new Driver game out into the world. And after 6 literal years of programming and game design, Soapy introduced to the world the Driver Syndicate. And the whole concept and goal of the Driver Syndicate is to replicate the vibe and gameplay of Driver 1 and 2 from the original PlayStation. And coming from someone that spent a good chunk of time playing the Driver games, I will say Soapy did a good damn job making this game.
My guy, did you steal chunks of my script? But let's get on to the main point of the Driver Syndicate. As opposed to taking place in real-life American and overseas locations, the game takes place in the fictional town of Syndicate City. And it's a pretty nice casual town, with the absence of curved roads and a lot of 90-degree intersections, and all the buildings are very identical. And there's a ton of spots to launch your car. It's got a nice lake for you to sit down and relax.
Get out of the way!
This is the worst town in America.
And Syndicate City is mostly populated with Belgians. Well, to be more specific, every NPC in Syndicate City is actually a clone of Vortex Story. And even the main character is Vortex Story.
I am in my mom's car.
Even the regular commuting traffic is full of Vortex stories.
Excuse me, can you please get your shitbox out of the way? Sorry, I am unable to locate the gas pedal.
The Driver Syndicate, however, does in fact look a lot similar to the original Driver games, but handles a lot different from the original games. In the original Driver games, it does sort of simulate what it's like to drive an old American muscle car, but it's very arcadey and forgiving. The cars can take 90-degree corners like nobody's business, and swerving in and out of traffic feels like I'm driving a decked-out BMW.
Where are you going? He didn't make a decision. You made me do a kickflip. No! Ah!
But in the Driver Syndicate, you are actually driving an old American car. It feels completely different from the driver games. You can feel the weight shift of the car, the wheels lock up when you try braking too hard, understeer happens quite often, you can feel how bouncy the suspension is, oversteer is a lot harder to control and correct, and also there's times where you get under and oversteer at the same time. And the game really punishes you if you take your car's limit a tad too far.
Oh, damn! Fuck!
And I have to say, Soapy did a damn good job simulating what it's like to drive an underpowered, steering deficient American car from the 70s and 80s.
Oh my god!
And also, another thing I love to do in this game is attempting the drift. I set the game to Stormy Night and drift like its initial D's nuts. And it takes a ton of practice and getting used to. I mean, look how fucking determined I am on executing a good corner. But let's talk more about the game itself. It's got its very own story mode called Syndicate, where you pop in a new game and then well, eventually, you complete the garage tutorial, and your next mission is going out to an illegal transaction. And so you skedaddle your way through the city to purchase some magic drugs. And then a bunch of dweebs and black cars appear, and then the fucking popo pops out of nowhere, and then you send your car to sending its speed to evade the pursuing cops.
Here comes the policeman.
The policeman!
And then you make your way downtown to your safe house, only to have the cops wait for you, so you cut through some alleys, get fucking pummeled, run over fire hydrants, but eventually arrive at the Tanner Cave. I mean Vortex Cave. And in the next mission, we gotta take the load. So we drive across town to some random barn in the middle of nowhere, and then we swap cars to a Fox body Mustang towing a fucking trailer. We are towing with a Fox body Mustang.
You ever beat off in a Carhartt sock in a Waffle House parking lot? That's what it's like to drive a Ford.
Fox body Mustang, and so of course the police really wants a taste of your load.
Brother,
So you skedoodle right off away from the scene and eventually deliver your giant load.
what the frick is wrong with you?
And so for the next mission, we're driving a creepy van with the objective to plant tracking devices on cars. So we bounce and shake our booty to some Corvette and plant the thing and drive away like nothing happened. And we're just about done with the mission. All we have to do now is drive to the marked location.
It appears that you suck balls at this game.
And now we're committing a bigger felony on pretending to be a police officer.
The license plate is off of a Bluebird school bus.
So now we're hunting down all the cars that we bugged from earlier. And then you set the siren on, and we're off to hunt down the criminals that my wife cheated on me for.
I'm gonna Scotch tape your ass shot!
But then word got out on the street that you are in fact not a police officer, and every gangster in Syndicate City is out to get you. But after you manage to get away by impersonating a police officer, that's the end of the story mode. Yep, that's it.
What? You didn't even let me, oh my god!
But moving on, we also got mini games, just like in the OG Drivers. They all make an appearance here in Driver Syndicate. You can practice the job interview as many times as you want, along with Getaway, where you get chased by a cop. Pursuit is where you get pissed off and chase a guy because he cut you off in traffic. Checkpoint Run is where you go from one part of the city to the next as fast as possible. Trailblazer is where you drive around the city running over traffic cones. Gates is quite similar to Trailblazer, except now you gotta drive through the cones like it's a rally race.
Sammy, what are you doing, man? Fast right on. Coming. Medium left, nice and easy. Turn. Throttle.
Last but not least, survival, where every cop in the city gets mega pissed off at you and is out to kill you. And it's your job to stay alive for as long as possible. And another thing that makes the Driver Syndicate amazing is the huge amount of mod support on this game. They range from interesting cosmetics to make your game look better, to different maps like Victoria by Nikki Chan, to different car mods. Like for example, I can drive an R32 Jeter in this game.
Sorry, car.
And also I can drive a fucking moon buggy.
Hello space drivers, let's get Tanner Count to the moon.
Or I can drive a 90s NASCAR in public traffic.
Kyle Busch is an ass.
Hello NASCAR drivers, let's drive around in circles.
But another mod that's really cool is the Classic Syndicate. Not only does it give the main menu a slight overhaul, but it's an exact recreation of Miami from Driver 1. You start off with the exact cutscenes from the game and start off in the infamous parking garage, and then once you're finished with that, you're now playing what will be the closest thing to a remaster of Driver 1. At the current moment, you can only play Miami. Now, I'm not sure if the whole game's gonna get featured, but we'll see. And that's the Driver Syndicate, a very simple yet innovative indie game that brought back the spirit of the original Driver games, and with the help of other indie developers, constantly creating new features and improvements to the project. And also the actual guy that made the music for Drivers 1 and 2 remastered the original soundtrack from the games specifically for the Driver Syndicate, and even made a whole theme song for the game. And as a big-time Driver fan, I am super thankful and grateful to experience a game like this. Now, it makes me wonder, what does Tanner think about the Driver Syndicate?
Meanwhile...
Oh no. Here's Johnny Tanner. You can't escape my epic wheelman driving. Get ready, fool. Your stupid Sportster is no match for my American muscle. Here comes a sharp corner. Muscle tried to rip the wheel a little. Oh shit, damn it. Nobody saw that. It was just a happy racing accident. No biggie, but don't get distracted in the fact that this will be your last race, Mr. Sportster. Nobody races John Tanner and survives. Holy shit, no. I lost a busy talking and not paying attention to the road. My car. My beautiful car. It's ruined. It's all Sportster's fault. He will pay for his crimes. Let's see how he likes it. All riding for the win hall. Time for your punishment.
And apparently there is no conclusion. So, thanks to my Red Weavers for supporting the channel, and do not forget to subscribe to Vortex Story, because why not? And in any case, see you soon, drivers.